Aircraft, ladies and gentlemen, during times of combat in the field, operating from unimproved airfields, specifically in the European theater, grass airfields that were, a lot of times were muddy. They didn't have spray guns like we have modern day. They didn't have a ton of masking tape. A lot of these stripes were painted with mops and brooms and dipped in buckets of paint as they come to the right. So look at these liveries as they come. And ladies and gentlemen, I want you to listen. We're going to let all 5 aircraft come by as we play a little music underneath them. Ladies and gentlemen, these are the C-47 Cougars.
Operation Market Garden, 1945, and we have a piece of audio history. If you remember back in the day, a long time ago, before television, you got your news from the radio, and live broadcasts were sometimes very difficult. But during World War II, Edward R. Murrow established himself as being a person who could tell a story live and on the air.
There's 2 dozen people standing along the narrow winding street. Some of them are children. And I can see that most of them seem to be wearing a white shirt or a white blouse of some kind. There go the parapacks on a formation ahead of us. Yellow, brown, red, drifting down gently, dropping the containers. I can't see the bodies of the men. Yes, I can. The ships ahead of us are still going on. There's a burst of black right there. I think it's coming from a railway embankment just down to the left. Certainly considerably under us, and just ahead of us, that is the first flag we've seen. With one burst of light black, there's another. More tracers going aboard just in front of our nose. I think it's coming from that little village just beside the canal. More tracers coming up now. Just cutting across in front of our nose. A lovely orange color it is. We're down just about to the top altitude now. In just about 30 seconds, these 19 men will walk out on the Dutch soil. You can probably hear the snap as they check the lashing on the static line. We're throttled back now. There you go. You're about 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15.
The C-49 retained the airline-style windows and passenger doors, while the 47 featured reinforced doors, glider towing tail, and a large cargo door. So if you've got your sharp eye on you, as they come by, look at the tail below the horizontal stab at the back. You can see the difference where the conal or cone-shaped aerodynamic tail is on the 49 versus the 47. Now, most 49s were powered by two 9-cylinder Wright 1820 Cyclone engines. The C-47 featured two of the more powerful 14-cylinder Pratt & Whitney R1830 twin Wasp engines. So a big difference there, and that requires a larger cowling on the C-47 because of the deeper, wider engine that it had. Now, the C-47 was heavily modified with double-width cargo door, a strengthened cabin floor for heavy vehicles, and anchor lines for paratrooper deployment. C-49s mostly retained their original passenger or sky sleeper layouts. The 49 floors primarily served in support, VIP transport, and resupply roles, while the 47 became the primary military workhorse used to drop paratroopers and gliders. Here they are.
Beautiful, guys, beautiful. C-47, go outbound to the east. Let me know when you're inbound. Call 2 minutes.
Well, come on, Oshkosh. It's absolutely appropriate to give them a huge round of applause right there. That is history right in front of you. Think about the sky full of those type of transport aircraft, some towing gliders, some loaded in the back of paratroopers. Invasions like D-Day in other places. Steve, absolutely spectacular to think about the history and the very freedoms that we enjoy to be able to come to an air show in Oshkosh because of the service members that not only flew those aircraft, but those aircraft themselves ensuring our very freedom. The participant in the historic 2019 D-Day Squadron Transatlantic mission, she continues serving as a flying ambassador, connecting aviation's storied past with its vibrant present. Ladies and gentlemen, just a moment. Please join me in a moment of quiet reflection as these magnificent aircraft of the Douglas DC-3 family will be performing the missing man formation that we described earlier. So if you're facing the runway, ladies and gentlemen, direct your attention straight out. Straight ahead, you can see the landing lights of the T-47s and T-49s that we just described. As they make their way to us, ladies and gentlemen, it is time and it's appropriate for you to stand. Gentlemen, it is also appropriate if you choose to remove cover as we honor those who have fallen and paid that ultimate sacrifice with the missing man formation, ladies and gentlemen, right in front of us here at Oshkosh.
Music starting. Stand by, pull. Ready, pull. Go. Nice job, C-47. Nice job. Let's go ahead and enter. We'll do one single shift pass for right traffic once we do the pass.
Well, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. What an honor to have that missing information here at Oshkosh AirVenture 2026. Now, our C-47 and C-49 are not done yet.
C-47 like this. Let that turn. We'll do the pass, and then we'll enter right traffic.
You'll see them enter the downwind. Now, they will produce what looks like a traffic pattern and make their way into a downwind, a base leg, but we're going to get to see them up close and personal. Instead of in the formation, the five-plane fingertip formation, excuse me. All right, here they come, ladies and gentlemen, and as the famous Danny Clisham says, if you still got film in your phone, get it out, get it ready. Here they come from the right. Well, Steve, oh my goodness.
Just minute 3:10 and 25. You are clear to land runway 36.
That 5 ship, that's another one of those only at Oshkosh lanes.
That's right.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am so glad you're here to witness that. But we also want to tell you that there's more air show coming your way as well.
There is. There isn't the is. For sure. But while we talk about what's yet to come, keep your eyes on those aircraft as they're in the downwind now. They're doing this out in front of you on purpose so that you can see that. You see the gear come down. You see the flaps come down.
See Matt Yonkin, BJ-10. All the conditions are right. The VTOL radar will take flight. Jeff Shetterly is flying his T6, so we will see a T6 today. The United States Air Force F-22 demo team will then take center stage, followed by the Northern Stars, Gentlemen Pikes, and finish off this afternoon's air show with the Titan Aerobatic team.
And a few more T6s there as well, so they're going to round it out. Now watch, look to the right, ladies and gentlemen. Watch here is Southern Cross, our lead aircraft, the C-49 we talked about. They handle this crosswind. Watch the gusty crosswind as the crew expertly navigates that low end, settles in over the runway. Watch the crab, the correction with the rudder and the ailerons. The aircraft touches down on the main gear, and they're going to hold that tail off for a little while as they bleed airspeed, continuing to fly the aircraft. The wheels are on the ground, but they are still flying that aircraft, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, cactus, slow down if you'd like,
You're going to get to see that 4 more times. Watch this crew navigate and fly these beautiful historic warbirds right here. Now see the C-49 here at Southern Cross, the first one? Look at the tail. Look underneath the rudder, and even with the horizontal staff, you can see that where everything comes together and it's kind of pointy in the back. I want you to look next at the second aircraft, which is the C-47, the gray one, and I want you to look at the back there. You'll notice it doesn't have that variant on the back for aerodynamics. That was changed in there with some of the reinforced connect points for the tow ropes and the tow lines that we towed gliders when we hauled the gliders into places like Normandy, D-Day, and other places like that. So look, you see those tails? It's absolutely phenomenal how these aircraft, we described how they were built, on the difference between them, but it's great to see this history flying in front of us here today. We've got 3 more coming here, Steve.
Copy, number 4 on the go. Right turn out 1 able.
So ladies and gentlemen, one of the only things we ever do in an air show is be safe. And you're seeing a great example of that right here. The C-47 that's rolling out on the runway was losing speed. It was overtaking it, and you see a perfect.
At number 3, make the left-hand turn opportunity.
Standard it's really cool to me, Steve. I can't turn off my old air traffic controller brain at all. And it is so fun to see the execution of those maneuvers that are absolutely doing the things that keep everything completely safe. And that go-around is just one of those
things. Tighten off your left side, and you can always go over to the grass.
My flight instructors told me if it doesn't look good, it's not going to end up good. So if the approach is not to your liking, there's absolutely nothing wrong with putting the power to it and going around and trying to
Yes,
it is. You can see one more time the C-47 in front of you with the invasion stance we talked about earlier. On the wing and also on the tail, as it gently settles that tail wheel to the ground. Look at that, Steve. Just perfectly done. Very expert airmanship on display here, ladies and gentlemen, in our last C-47 beginning to circle on the way. So we talked about the rest of the air show that's coming up here this afternoon in the main air show, Steve, but later tonight at 8 o'clock,
aeronautical showmanship between a lot of different players, and of course, as we see the DC-3, the C-47 with American jet sails roll out to the right. And I think you two gentlemen have done so very nicely and in a splendid way to bring all of the great warbird action. Ladies and gentlemen, if you would, a very nice round of applause for Rob Lowe and Steve Bush.
You ready to go?
Well, thanks, Luke. We appreciate that, but let's be really clear. This is all in honor of our hero and his 50 years here, Hollywood Danny Clisham, the Hall of Famer. who has done it expertly for so many years. We owe everything we do to him. And Danny, thank you for the leadership. Thank you for the example. Everything we do here is a tribute to Danny and his amazing showmanship and leadership as we watch Howard come up on that C-47.
Go Tier 1 airball from your left,
Way down the end of the runway there to go. So Luke, I think you've got something that's going to be just a little bit different.
Go here. When you're cleared into the TFR, you're going to hold, let's call it about a mile behind the crowd, a mile west. 1 mile west and 2,000 feet.